Time for CBX Business News. The business news headlines is brought to you by QMX Wealth Management, making more possible.
And Brazil hit by 10 billion reais shock. Good evening and welcome to CBX Business News for Wednesday, November 19, 2025. I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in the newscast, locally, Jamaica Broilers rallies lenders and revalues key assets after a 46 billion Jamaican dollar US fraud wipes out equity. On the regional front, Belize's Minister of Agriculture resigns amid cartel allegations and mounting U.S. pressure. And over on the global stage, a Brazilian banking scandal exposes a 10 billion reais fraud risk at BRB. Stay tuned as we unpack these stories and more right after the break.
See my granny save her money under her mattress.
Exactly.
Okay.
Your grandmother's house never burned down?
No, how you reach that, so? That was a one-off thing.
That could have happened to anybody. That's why you must put your money in a financial institution and protect it.
What if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in.
What you mean?
JDIC is a financial safety net which provides coverage for your money in case your financial institution fails.
Explain that to me.
All right. Because of the JDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you put your money into a financial institution like a bank or building society, you can get coverage of up to a maximum of $1.2 million per deposit of your financial institution if it should fail. And for even more information, you can visit their new website at www.jdic.org, and you can follow the social media platforms for the latest information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
I'm trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
I'm also trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
Start a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Check jamstockx.com for information and a list of registered stockbrokers. You can also call the Jamaica Stock Exchange at 876-967-3271 for information on how to begin. I am achieving my financial goals.
I'm achieving my financial goals.
Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now. Say bye-bye pain. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Be good to you. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited. It smells so good right now.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-923-5111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
Mikey, is what sweet you saw?
Yeah, dear babes. Where's the catty? You ain't go party tonight?
Party? You secure your future yet? Careless.
Did you know that over time, the stock market has provided a reliably high return on investments? Be sure to contact a licensed stockbroker for more information on this exciting investment opportunity.
Taking care of business, Mikey?
Yeah, catty. I secured my future. Want to come look over my stock portfolio?
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
Serious about building Jamaica? Build with solid PVC pipes and conduits, manufactured in Jamaica by Phosphate, made to the highest standard. Solid PVC pipes and conduits are made in Jamaica by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. Available at hardware stores across the island. Take some solid advice, support our economy, and build well. Buy solid PVC pipes. Next time, ask for solid brand PVC pipes and conduits. Call our distributors or Phosphate at 876-937-5099.
Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now. Say bye-bye pain. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Be good to you. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
Back to CBX Business News. We begin with new BOJ data showing Melissa has shifted the country's financial risk map. Jamaica's financial sector is entering the final weeks of the year on solid footing. But the Bank of Jamaica is warning that Hurricane Melissa will leave a measurable dent on growth and credit conditions in the months ahead. In its financial policy statement for November 2025, the committee reported that the system was stable and well capitalized up to the September quarter, supported by GDP growth, low inflation, and favorable global monetary conditions. But the storm's economic fallout is now emerging. The BOJ says GDP growth will weaken and the hit to tourism and agriculture will place pressure on thousands of households whose debt financing capacity has already deteriorated, raising the likelihood of higher non-performing loans in the quarters ahead. Still, regulators stress that banks have ample buffers. Non-performing loans were historically low heading into the storm. Provisioning is high and capital remains robust enough to absorb the expected rise in credit risks. Insurance claims will surge, but solvency should hold firm due to strong reinsurance protection and low property insurance penetration in some of the hardest hit parishes. The BOJ also confirmed that stress tests show the system can meet elevated cash demand during recovery, process insurance-related payouts, and offer temporary credit relief where needed. The central bank says it stands ready to provide liquidity support and maintain orderly conditions in the foreign exchange market. Sandals Resorts International is taking a decisive stance in Jamaica's post-Melissa recovery, committing to no layoffs across its workforce, even as several of its largest properties remain closed well into 2026. Executive Chairman Adam Stewart announced the move during 2 global virtual town halls, which drew more than 3,000 travel advisors and guests. To anchor that commitment, Sandals has set aside over $3 million or 480 million Jamaican dollars for employee support. Every team member has already received a monetary grant offering timely relief for families struggling with food costs, school expenses, and urgent household needs after the storm. The employment guarantee comes as the company advances its phased reopening strategy. 5 Sandals and Beaches resorts in Negril and Ocho Rios will reopen on December 6, restoring valuable room capacity ahead of the winter season. However, Sandals Montego Bay, Sandals Royal Caribbean, and Sandals South Coast will stay closed until May 30, 2026, due to the scale of reconstruction required. In another significant move, Stewart says all employee benefits, including pension, medical, dental, and insurance, will remain fully intact throughout the rebuild. And as Jamaica pushes through one of the most expensive rebuilds in its modern economic history, a new threat is emerging, not from the skies, but from shopping carts. The Jamaica National Foundation is warning that the rush toward Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas has collided with the financial pressures of Hurricane Melissa's aftermath, creating prime conditions for overspending, deceptive deals, and consumer exploitation. Financial education consultant Rose Miller says the country's peak retail season is arriving at a moment of heightened vulnerability. Many Jamaicans are replacing storm-damaged goods, helping relatives rebuild, or simply trying to reclaim a sense of normalcy. And that emotional pressure is exactly what fraudsters and inflated discounts are targeting. However, Miller says this year demands sharper judgment. She says while real deals do exist, Melissa has created new financial stresses across households. A single misstep could trigger long-term strain. In other news, Jamaica Broilers Group, rocked by a staggering Jamaican $46 billion accounting meltdown in its U.S. meat business, is now staging one of the boldest fightbacks on the local market. Fresh off the release of its audited financials, which revealed 4 years of buried costs, off-balance sheet vendor financing, and a $32 billion Jamaican dollar wipeout of net assets, the group returned to investors with a rare mix of candor and conviction. At an investor briefing hosted by Mayberry Investments, Group VP of Finance Ian Prasad outlined a high-stakes recovery plan designed to rebuild trust and the balance sheet in record time.
We are in the very, very last stages of concluding an extremely complex refinancing package that includes all of our lenders. It has a number of features in it, so I don't mind spending a minute or two to kind of just explain what they are. The first thing is that this deal is not a syndicated deal, but we can consider it like a club deal. Multiple lenders, multiple banks, and bondholders are included. We're talking a total package of $24 billion, so it is very significant. We're talking about bondholders and banks agreeing to common loan covenants and condition, agreeing voting rights. We are moving to secured borrowing from these banks and bondholders. Currently, all of our borrowing is unsecured.
That was Jamaica Broilers Group VP of Finance, Ian Prasad. We go now to updates from the Bank of Jamaica on how the currency markets traded today. In Wednesday's currency trading session, the US dollar is selling for $161.21, the Canadian for $114.83, the pound sterling for $210.61, while the going rate for the euro is $186. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 112 stocks, of which 55 advanced, 41 declined, and 16 traded firm. Leading the winners are KLE Group, CAC 2000, Cygnus Real Estate Finance USD, and 138 Student Living Jamaica. While leading the losers are Caribbean Assurance Brokers, Pulse Investments, Cygnus Credit Investments 10.50% preference shares due 2025 Class C, and Epley 7.75% preference shares. The main index advanced by 2,665.35 points, or 0.86%, to close at 312,951.33 points. The junior market index advanced by 15.77 points, or 0.47%, to close at 3,381.84 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by Carrie Chris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
In today's Market Education Feature, we're looking at trade secrets. A trade secret is any confidential business information, whether a method, process, technique, or formula, which a company protects and shares only with individuals who have a legitimate need to access it. Information classified as a trade secret provides a company with a competitive edge and is typically the result of its own internal research and development efforts. Trade secrets can appear in many forms, including proprietary processes, tools, patterns, designs, formulas, recipes, methods, or practices that are not readily apparent to others.
The Market Education Feature was brought to you by Carrie Chris, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is coming up next.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
How may I assist you today?
I want to open an account for me and my son.
That's great. Let me see your documents. I understand you want to know about our savings account. Let me show you a few accounts and the benefits of each account.
Why do you need so many documents from my mommy?
It's called KYC, Know Your Customer. This helps us to protect you and treat you right. Thanks for the documents. Take a look at this brochure. Let's discuss savings accounts. A savings account is an interest-bearing deposit account. Customers with savings deposit accounts are covered up to $1.2 million per ban, so you don't have anything to worry about.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. Belize's political and economic landscape has shifted sharply today with the sudden resignation of Minister of Agriculture Jose Abelardo May, following weeks of mounting controversy, international pressure, and intensifying national security concerns. May tendered his resignation to Prime Minister John Briceño on Monday, ending a turbulent period marked by allegations from a Mexican source linking him to criminal activity, claims he has fiercely rejected as defamatory, fake, and politically motivated. The situation escalated further after scrutiny over a $7,000 Belizean invoice for 2 bulletproof vests traced back to the Ministry of Agriculture. While public speculation tied the protective gear to cartel threats, officials maintain the purchase was related to an armed robbery investigation and not personal security for the minister. The resignation comes at a sensitive moment for Belize as the government faces questions about governance, oversight in the Northern Free Zone, and the broader fight against criminal infiltration along its borders. Reports of diplomatic pressure, particularly from U.S. officials, have added another layer of complexity to the fallout. Grenada's parliament has rushed through emergency changes to its Fisheries Act as the United States prepares to ban imports of Grenadian fish and fish products from January 1, 2026. The decision comes after Washington's ocean regulator ruled the island's rules for protecting marine mammals are not up to U.S. standards. The stakes are huge. The fisheries sector hauls in about 5.5 million pounds of fish a year, worth roughly EC $50 million, with exports of 2.5 million pounds bringing in around EC $35 million. Minister for Economic Development and Marine Resources, Lennox Andrews, says the amendment adds marine mammals to the legal definition of fish and sets up a monitoring and observer system.
This bill seeks to amend the Fisheries Act, Chapter 108, which is the principal act, Mr. Speaker, to regulate the treatment of marine mammals within the waters of Grenada. The bill, Mr. Speaker, contains 4 clauses. Clause 1, Mr. Speaker, provides for the short title. Clause 2 provides for the amendment to Section 2 of the Principal Act, which treats with the insertion of new definitions for the observer and marine mammals. Clause 3, Mr. Speaker, provides for the insertion of a new section, Section 28A of the Principal Act, to establish the observer and monitoring system to improve the administration of the Principal Act.
Minister for Economic Development and Marine Resources, Lennox Andrews. In other news, Barbados is projecting an over $40 million Bajan deficit for March 2026, which amounts to just 0.27% of GDP. Finance Minister Ryan Strawn says the island is on track to finish the fiscal year with its recovery program intact and debt on a steady downward path. He was speaking in Parliament on Tuesday.
The revised framework for March 2026 projects total revenue of $3,864.51 million and total expenditure of $3,905.73 million, implying an overall deficit of $41.22 million, around 0.27% of GDP. The revised primary surplus is $676.80 million, equivalent to approximately 4.44% of GDP.
That was Finance Minister Ryan Strawn. It's now time for news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 17 securities, of which 5 advanced, 6 declined, and 6 traded firm. Today's winners are Ansa McCall, Trinidad and Tobago NGL, Massey Holdings, and Grace Kennedy. While leading the losers are National Enterprises, JMMB Group, Unilever Caribbean, and Scotia Bank Trinidad and Tobago. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All-TNT Index advanced by 2.41 points to close at 1,349.03. The Composite Index advanced by 0.75 points to close at 936.84. The Cross-Listed Index declined by 0.15 points to close at 69.38. The SME Index remained at 96.30. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never, ever, ever wanna calm down. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah.
in international news. Brazil's federal prosecutors say the state-run lender BRB may face more than 10 billion Brazilian reals in losses after allegedly helping prop up the collapsed Banco Master through fraudulent transfers and credit deals tied to non-existent assets. A federal judge has already authorized the arrest of Master's controlling shareholder and ordered the temporary removal of BRB's senior executives, citing evidence that both banks jointly executed a scheme to mask Master's liquidity crisis. Court filings show 16.7 billion reals moved between the two banks from 2024 to 2025, with BRB buying credit portfolios that made up almost 30% of its balance sheet. Regulators liquidated Banco Master this week, calling the lender's finances unstable. BRB says it has hired an external audit team as the investigation widens. From financial shockwaves in Brazil, we move to a retail turbulence in the U.S. as Target struggles to find its footing. Target has posted its 5th straight drop in comparable sales, slipping 2.7% in the third quarter as inflation, a tighter household budget, and a stronger competition from Walmart continue to bite. Incoming CEO Michael Fidelki hasn't officially taken charge yet, but he has already slashed 1,800 corporate roles, begun reshaping online fulfillment across 35 markets, and deployed new AI tools for forecasting and holiday shopping. Target reaffirmed its outlook for a soft holiday quarter, offering an unusually wide profit range as it cuts prices on more than 3,000 everyday items. Revenue fell 1.6% to $25.27 billion, but earnings beat expectations at $1.78 per share. From retail disruption to music disruption, the world's biggest labels are carving out rules for AI-made songs. Warner Music Group has settled its copyright case with AI startup Udio and will co-launch a licensed AI music creation platform in 2026. The service will rely on AI trained only on authorized recordings, giving artists revenue participation while protecting catalogs from unlicensed use. The deal follows a similar settlement between Udio and Universal Music Group, even as rival AI music generator Suno remains locked in litigation with Warner, Universal, and Sony. The detente comes amid rising concerns about synthetic music, with a recent survey finding 97% of listeners can't tell AI-generated tracks from human ones. And finally, to the global AI hardware race, where Qualcomm is taking its next big leap in the Middle East. Qualcomm is expanding its data center ambitions with a new engineering hub in Saudi Arabia and plans to deploy 200 megawatts of AI servers for the kingdom's Humane AI initiative. The servers will be built using Qualcomm's new AI 200 and AI 250 accelerator chips, part of its push to diversify beyond smartphones and compete with NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel in AI infrastructure. Saudi Arabia is attracting major U.S. chip makers. NVIDIA has already begun shipments, while AMD and Cisco are building a joint venture that will scale from 100 megawatts to 1 gigawatt of AI capacity by 2030. The move also feeds into the global push for sovereign AI, national AI systems controlled and trained within each country. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side.
Serious about building Jamaica? Build with solid PVC pipes and conduits, manufactured in Jamaica by Phosphate, made to the highest standard. Solid PVC pipes and conduits are made in Jamaica by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. Available at hardware stores across the island. Take some solid advice, support our economy, and build well. Buy solid PVC pipes. Next time, ask for solid brand PVC pipes and conduits. Call our distributors or Phosphate at 876-937-5099.
And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, Jamaica Broilers rallies lenders and revalues assets as $46 billion Jamaican dollar U.S. fraud wipes out equity. Regionally, Belize's agriculture minister resigns amid cartel allegations and U.S. pressure. And internationally, Brazil bank scandal exposes 10 billion reais fraud risk at BRB. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rachel Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
am Shelley Leon, Chief Executive Officer of the company's